Broadcasting from Hollywood, California, it's Grant's Rants, Hollywood Talk.
Dua Lipa's new album is out, and it's a good thing. Real Housewives of New York returns, and we're preparing for the season with some news and a dramatic reading. Chianesi tells us about befriending Dorinda Medley, and later I present a timeline of Lindsay Lohan's music career. What is going on with her? That and a lot more starting now. Let the ranting begin. Here's another one. I'm joined by Chianesi, a longtime friend of mine. He's been on the podcast a bunch, calling it from New York. He's an actor, writer, and comedian. Welcome back.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for having me.
I always have a good time with you, and I'm in a good mood, so this is going to be a fun episode.
I'm so excited to be back on.
I have no idea why I'm in such a good mood. I mean, in a way, I've been busier than ever. I don't know how that's possible. There's nothing even happening. I don't know how the hell I'm so damn busy, but this is going to be a good show. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I know you were a little under the weather.
I was, I'm pretty sure I had the Rona. But they said that if you were young and you exhibited symptoms, but if you were young and that you would just probably be okay. So to not go and get tested. I got emails from City MD and my doctor's office, and they were like, if you have all the symptoms and you come in and you're under the age of 60, we won't test you. So don't come in. Just nurse it like you have the flu and you'll be fine. But do not come in because you won't get tested. So I was like, well, okay, I guess I'll just deal with this by myself.
Right. And then another unreported case. So the numbers are not accurate, of course.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on. I heard that for our age, they just tell you to sleep and drink Gatorade. I mean, I guess.
Gatorade. I just drank a ton of water. My body was so sore. I woke up one morning and I felt like I had run a marathon, but not trained for it. And so my body was so sore. I had the worst headache for days. I had a temperature. It was a mess, but I am all better now.
I'm glad to hear that. You'd never know by just listening. It sounds back to normal, so good for you.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Well, let's talk about a few different things to get our mind off all that. Dua Lipa put out a new album, as you know. The name of it is Future Nostalgia. What are your initial thoughts and reactions to this new album?
I'm obsessed with it. It's brilliant. I love the whole gag of it. They clearly spent a lot of time figuring out I guess the sound is a big part of the album because it's very retro sounding. It sort of has some 80s vibes, some disco vibes. It's got the whole thing. Yeah. So I just love how the whole album is so nostalgic. And then also in being nostalgic, it's going to be our nostalgia one day. So I love the name. I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
Well, I've been waiting for this. Her first album that everybody loved came out in 2017. So it's been a minute. And I was I remember saying on Labor Day, I was like, where is her new music? She was so hot and she had so much traction. And I know she was putting out a few singles, but where's the next album? So it's about time. It was actually supposed to could have been pushed. I guess a lot of other people, including Gaga, didn't put out their albums yet. They pushed everything.
Sam Smith.
This one, she pushed it up a week early because she figured the world needed it, which I'm thank you. We do.
I'm very grateful for it. I'm happy she did it because I think that we all needed something to sort of lift our spirits now. So, I'm happy dancing to it in my apartment. I'm fine not going to a club, being in a group of people dancing to it. I could do it at home. I love it.
Right. I was really happy to hear it because sometimes artists come back and they've a whole new sound or a whole new vibe, but it's Kesha's a good example. She's totally changed. I know for a lot of different reasons, but she's totally changed how she started. So I was Dua had a good thing going on. So I'm glad that she still kept it fun, kept it light. Like you said, there were disco vibes in there, some European sounds that I liked. It was just really unique. And I will say thank God for something fun because there's not one clunker on that album. And I listen to it when I walk the dog and when I'm working. And I just say, look, everything on there is pretty strong.
It's so good. Do you have a favorite from the album?
Yeah, I mean, I like Physical. That's always a good one.
Oh, it's so good.
And then the last one on the album, I didn't know if I would like it, but Boys Will Be Boys. I mean, could this be
Oh my
her
God.
next signal? Her next
Me
single?
too. I love that song. And I didn't even know she was saying boys will be boys. When the first time I heard it, it sounded like one of those things, one of those ear tricks where I don't even remember how it goes exactly, but it was like, boys will be, boys will be, boys
Yeah.
will be. Something like that. Oh,
Yep.
it's so good.
It is.
And I love Cool. Cool is a good one too.
It's a good one. This Boys song, though, this should be her next single because it's very topical. It's basically like a women's empowerment song. Boys will be boys, but girls will be women. And I can just totally see that being an anthem, like a summer anthem. You know?
Yeah.
So she should definitely, once things get back to normal, like let's have that be the next video. But you know why I like Dua is because she's one of the few artists that will put out like a really high end music video. Where nowadays it's like it's hard to find a real good video. People don't invest in them the way they used to.
Right.
Like unless if you're like a Taylor Swift, which doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah. Miss Americana.
Yeah, all her music videos, they're very high end, but I'm just not like, it's not my thing, you know?
Yeah. It's definitely, you could tell they put a lot of money into it, but like if you're not into it, you're not into it.
No,
you know?
it doesn't do anything for me. But I encourage people to listen to this because it's just fun music. It's pop music. It's good music. It's, you know, if people want to try something new and listen to something, go for it. Because I've been starved for new music for so long. So in this case,
Oh
I
my
was like,
God,
thank
me
God.
too. I know. I was devastated when Gaga pushed the release of her album, but I get it. I get it. But, you know, it would have been nice to have the music. But I get she wants to. I mean, she probably has like an entire like rollout plan for it. So I'm like, you know what? And she needs it. You know, this is sort of like, I mean, she never really went anywhere, but she's sort of going back to her like Gaga roots, like 2009 sort of vibes, I feel. So
Yeah.
I think she wants it to be like perfect, probably. So, you know, I'll wait for her.
Right. That's why I give Dua Lipa even more credit because she basically skipped her whole press tour to promote it and was like, yeah, I'm just going to put it out. Like, I really respect that because, like, you know that Gaga will be hawking this album everywhere she can.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So that's something good. That's something positive. And another thing that is coming into our lives, the 12th season of The Real Housewives of New York, returning on April 2nd.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry with delight. Oh my God, we need it. Grant, we need it more than ever now.
More than ever. And, you know, I've been very critical of Housewives, especially recently. They're too overproduced for me. But New York, good luck trying to produce Sonia Morgan or Ramona Singer. You're not going to be able to produce them. They're just going to be themselves. And that's what we need.
Yeah. Oh, that's why it's so good.
It's so
the
authentic.
It's such a great group of women. Like, I mean, the cast, it's like perfect casting. And I'm so excited for the new cast member. I think she's going to hold up.
yeah.
I think it's going to be a great mix still. I think it's going to be an awesome season.
Well, I will be hosting here on this same podcast feed a Real Housewives of New York rundown series. It's going to be a different kind of recap. It's going to be 30 minutes or less. Me and somebody else who watches the show. We're going to vibe. We're going to goof on it. We're going to talk about the highlights. It's not going to be scene by scene. It's going to be a timed recap. So a new take on podcasting with an after show. So I want to test it out.
I love that. That sounds amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, so I just put it together, and I've been planning to do it forever. And now is the right time. I had planned to do this before all the mess with the world. So I thought, you know, I really miss recapping shows. I did it forever and ever at AfterBuzz, and I love being able to watch a show and pull things out. Mainly like, hey, did you catch this? Did you catch this in the background? Like, that's the type of stuff that I like to do. Who's really watching these shows closely? I am.
Right. Same.
So we'll have to have you on for that because I think it's going to be, like 20 weeks?
Oh, I'd love it.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I got a lot of programming to film. So now,
you can do it, Grant.
Did you see Ramona Singer on ET Entertainment Tonight?
Oh, was it the video of her cleaning?
Well, that was something else, but she had some interview with Entertainment Tonight, and this guy, Bryce Sanders, he asked her, basically, what was different this season that made all the ladies come together? Because she said, oh, we're closer than ever.
Oh, Oh, yeah.
And of
I heard about
course,
this.
she couldn't swipe Bethany fast enough. No tact whatsoever. In first word out of her mouth, Bethany, she just couldn't control herself. She said that Bethany, they had to walk on eggshells, which you've heard a million times, but they couldn't be themselves because she wouldn't allow any air in the room.
Oh my God. I can't.
I mean, I think people would say that about Ramona, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ramona doesn't let anyone get a word in edgewise, and it's so clear that she just, I don't know if she was, I don't want to say if she was jealous of Bethany, but she certainly did not like her for a reason or a million,
Right. And now Lou got on Luann de Lesseps, she got in on the same kind of thing. She said on a podcast, she said, "Oh, I think this is the best season yet. It's like Bethany who?"
Oh my God. That's so shady because Bethany and Dennis helped her so much, didn't they?
I know. And I think there must be a fear that this season is not going to be good because Bethany's not attached to it. So they have to really bury her. Oh yeah, she was on, but we're good without her. We're okay. We're better than ever. There must be some type of agenda there. But people who are really loyal to the show, we don't care. I mean, I don't care if Bethany's on it or not. I'm watching either way.
Same.
So, I mean, I don't know. What is your stance on Bethany? Because I thought someone there was just always a crisis, a constant crisis with her. I grew to like her towards the end. I thought when she returned to the series, she was very negative. And then I could see why. I can understand why. It ended okay. She's still a prickly person. So I'm here nor there with Bethany. How do you feel about her?
I feel like she just has a lot going on and lets the pressure get to her, which I guess was good for the show. But she's got that crazy ex-husband of hers. If the divorce isn't even final yet, right? It's been going on for how long? Is she still legally married to him?
I believe so.
Well, he's making her life miserable. So I don't blame her for anything going on there because I'm sure that he's being a royal asshole to her. So, but that, and it's interesting because she's strong personality and she does a lot of good for the world in general with her foundation. But on the show, you don't necessarily see that side of her really, unless it was the Puerto Rico, when that whole thing was going down, you saw that. But if it's involving the other women and with the other women, I think they're all sort of I don't know. They all sort of act a certain way to her. Not all of them, but some of them, especially Ramona.
Oh, yeah. I do want to mention on August 23rd of 2019, ET online says Bethany Frankel says she's still legally married to Jason. So up until now,
oh my gosh,
isn't it crazy when people get married, they get a divorce, and the divorce is longer than the marriage itself?
Wow, that's crazy. Wait, so when was that? That was January?
That was August of 2019 that ET posted that. Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah. So where we left off, I actually went back. I rewatched the finale of last season just for the hell of it. And I remember after watching it, very little actually happened. This is not a dig at the show. I'll dig Beverly Hills. I'll swipe that show. I think it's absolute garbage. But New York at least has entertainment value and a factor to it. There's not so much self-producing. So that's why I give it such a pass. But there really was very little. The big thing was Lou had her Christmas 2018 cabaret special. It's so dated. But it was all, the season was, how serious is Luann taking herself? She put her face as the Blessed Mother on candles. Remember that?
God, I'm obsessed.
And the big story was that the women could not believe that Tinsley was not really dating the ex-boyfriend and that she had
Scott?
an arrangement. Yeah. They wouldn't let that go, that she had some type of an arrangement with him.
Well, and now that arrangement is an engagement, so...
Yep. And I guess she's going to be off the show for half the season, which I don't know how that's going to work, but...
I don't know. Interesting.
But you know what, though? If that's part of her real life, then I'm fine with it, because I also think that she really wasn't really living in New York. So it seems silly that she was on the show, not really living there. Why?
Right.
So, good. If you're not there and your life is somewhere else, then you're not on the show.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. Well, we're going to come back in a minute. And when we do, we're going to be doing a special reading from season 10, episode 9. See if you can guess. That in a moment with Chris. Now this.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back on the podcast with Chris. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Chris prepared for us, just for you, a special recreation, a moment in Real Housewives of New York history from season 10, episode 9. Picture a low angle shot from a curb somewhere on the Upper East Side. Ramona is on the phone with Bethany. Let's go through this. I'll play Bethany. Of course, you must play Ramona.
Excellent. Okay.
Street, afternoon.
Hey, Bethany, how are ya?
Okay, I'm okay. I've been sort of unsettled today and a little upset. The thing is, I don't have any girlfriends. The few girlfriends I have.
So what's your point?
Well, I'm going to tell you my point. In a confessional. Sonia told me that at the Red Cross event, there was a lot of whispering about me and saying negative things about me. So I wanted to try to express that that's hurtful. Street. So I do have good friends, and Carol actually is one of them. And I feel like through this group, you have your different moments with each person, and you've definitely done emotional damage.
I don't think so, Bethany. I don't even want to have this conversation. You sound very negative, and I'm in a great place. So
I didn't even say what I wanted to say.
Well, you were already saying...
You're talking over me. I called you to have a conversation, and I'm being very calm. I'm telling you that you look like you enjoy me arguing with Carol.
I don't enjoy any arguments. What are you talking about? Get a reality check. Don't blame your problems with Carol with me. I mean, please, don't do that. Your situation with Carol is with Carol.
No, I don't. I don't really have a bad problem with Carol.
So then why are you talking with me about Carol for?
Well, I don't want you to know that it's unacceptable for you to be preying on the weak. You say you support women.
Oh, no, actually, you don't support women. I'm very, very upset and hurt that you had the audacity at your lunch. I came out and said there'll be a skincare line. You go, oh, what's this, an infomercial? When you left and bring up every product you do, and you don't support women. You don't acknowledge anybody for anything they do. And as soon as Carol left that party, you talked behind her back. So how have you the audacity to talk to me like you're talking to me? How about you didn't even give Dorinda credit for getting the nutcracker? Do you know how upset you got Dorinda for not acknowledging she got you that nutcracker for your daughter?
Confessional. How far do I have to go? At my party, I was jumping up and down. I didn't know I had to calligraphy and wax a stamp and envelope directly about the nutcracker. But what do you do? What are you pulling into the for?
Your problem is with yourself. Don't put it on me.
Brilliant television. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Iconic.
That was
Iconic
so much
scene.
fun. Oh my god. I used to do this at AfterBuzz when we would get ready for the reunions. We'd play back we'd do this with old reunion fights. I forgot how much fun it was.
It's so good. Oh my god. I can't wait for this season.
It's so interesting to see this written, to see mainly Ramona, what her thought process is.
Yeah, I just love watching this so many times because she pronounces things so weirdly. When she says the word reggae, she calls it ruggae.
Reggae.
Well, in this scene, she says audacity. She pronounces it O-R-D-A-C-I-T-Y. So she's like, how have you the audacity? She says it more than once. And
Yes.
It's so good.
It's like Ramona learned a new word and she's trying it out.
Yeah, she's on thesaurus.com every morning.
Oh my god. Well, I had to select this scene because there is a recreation and a very popular music video by Chris. It's out there. You're yelling at a skull, which I like. It's my favorite part. Bethany being the skull. You're playing one of your best friends, Ramona Singer. Please tell people what I'm talking about if they're not aware.
Yes. So I perform this character out. So the past year I've been doing a monthly show here in New York called The Feed, which is It's like very social media inspired. And one of the characters I do on it is a Real Housewife of New York wannabe named Elizabeth Cakes, who is the heiress to Cakes Urinal Cakes. And she's like a 40-something British socialite, divorcee. And so the music video is a song that I wrote for her called Prosecco Through a Straw, which is how she drinks her favorite beverage, with a straw.
Naturally.
So I perform it out, and yeah, I released a music video for it, and yeah, it's gotten great response.
Yeah, it's doing really well. I saw the numbers again today when I went to rewatch.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Elizabeth is such a character. I mean, describe to me like how you created her, how she came to be.
Well, she came to be, so the song actually started out a couple years ago when I was like singing on cruise ships. I was at the bar and the bartender gave me a Corona with a straw in it, like a bottle with a straw in it. And I thought it was the funniest thing. So me and my friends would walk around jokingly saying Corona through a straw. And it was originally for another character I was doing, who's this Australian ex-backup dancer for Taylor Swift. Craziness.
I remember. Yeah.
His name was Dominic Top, Dom Top for short. # Taylor Swift is my bestie, as he says. And, but so I wrote it for him. And then when I was conceptualizing my show here in New York, I needed another character. And I've always wanted to do sort of like a busted drag character, but also incorporate my love for housewives. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I could make Corona through a straw for a housewife character. And then also, what would a housewife, I feel like she wouldn't drink Corona through a straw. What'd she drink? And then, it just came to me like Prosecco. My boyfriend, Jonathan, you met Jonathan.
Yeah.
My boyfriend, Jonathan, was like, what if you made it Prosecco? And I was like, that is brilliant. So I'm going to do that. So I rewrote the whole song for her, and yeah, and the rest is history.
I love it. And I want to talk briefly about producing an actual music video. Like, this goes back to like the old Hollywood talk that I used to do on this podcast, to like creating things. I would love to know, like, we talked about it offline, but just fill people in on like what that process was like and how you secured locations.
Oh yes. So I was very, very lucky with this video. So I had a bunch of friends who own production companies or who film stuff. And I was like, I'm just gonna like check what their rates are and just like get sort of a feel of it. Cause I had never made a music video on this scale before. I wanted it to be really, really good and glossy and professional looking. So I reached out to my friend, Chelsea Amoroso, and she has this studio with Andrew Kluger called EOT Studios. It's EOTI. And I reached out to Chelsea, who I worked with on cruise ships before in the past. And I was like, I have this character, I have this song. Like, what do you think it would take to make something like this? And she's like, we would love to work on this with you. Like, this is perfect. We need more stuff like this for, our company and for our materials just to have. So we'd love to work with you on this.
Wow.
And they were so generous with their time. And so that I secured EOT Studios at the beginning of the summer, I think it was in June. And then I knew I wanted to film in this loft that I used to babysit at for years down near Washington Square Park, with this family that I'm very close with, dear friends with. And I asked them, and I was like, I have a crazy idea. Feel free to say no, but can I film this music video in your apartment? And they were like, yes, when do you need? And I was like, oh my God, okay. So yeah, I set aside a weekend in August to film it. And I had just all friends come and be extras in it. And I hired a makeup artist, the amazing Chloe Fox. She did my makeup for that. Because usually when I perform this character live, it is busted, Grant. Like, it's busted. I have like 30 seconds to quick change. So the makeup, I literally just like throw it on my face. And I look like a monster. a monster. So for the music video, we actually did the makeup very, very beautiful and elegant
High
and yeah,
production value. I like
high
it.
production value.
I
Yes.
like it.
And so we shot the video and then I released it in January at the 1 year anniversary of my show, The Feed. And I had a big show and yeah, and I debuted the video there. And yeah.
That's great. That's so
Yeah.
good. And I'm telling you, people, if you're curious, if your interest is peaked by now, come on. This is a perfect video for my listeners because it's a little bit of ridiculous matched with like the Housewives. It's, creative content. So people search for it. Prosecco Through a Straw on YouTube. But I also want to say, you've made quite an impression on Dorinda Medley.
I did. It's honestly, the whole thing, I honestly feel like I'm dreaming because so when I was organizing the video this summer, I was like, you know what? Let's reach out to my housewives just for shits and giggles and see, what's the worst they could say? If they even get back to me and say no, I'll still like be gagged that they even wrote back.
Right,
so
right.
like, what's the worst? So their emails, a bunch of them are in their Instagrams. They're literally just, where it says like follow, message, email. It's literally like their direct email, some of them. So I emailed a bunch of them. I emailed Sonia, Dorinda. I think I emailed Ramona's like PR person, I think. And I think that was it. I think I might have emailed some of the Jersey ones too. Oh, I emailed Tinsley. She had an AOL email address, I think.
Oh.
And yeah, and they actually, so I heard back from Sonia, Tinsley, and Dorinda. And Tinsley was out of town, I think. Sonia was way too expensive. I literally was like, because I was like, I don't have a lot of money to make this, but like I can shell out like a couple $100 if you come for literally like if you come for literally 15 minutes and we just film for 15 minutes, like the fact that I would have you in this video would be so amazing.
It's
for
totally
me.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was long story short, I was emailing back and forth with Dorinda and her assistant, and she was gonna we were gonna have a call to talk about the video, and so the call got pushed, and I emailed her assistant. I was like, "Hey, I hope everything's okay." And she's like, "Yeah, we let's reschedule." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I see on Instagram or something that Dorinda like got injured or something. Like, I think it was she hurt her rib. She like broke a rib or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, oh my God, this is why like the meeting was getting pushed, I guess, and all that. So I was like, oh my God, like, well, she needs to take care of herself. So,
right.
So then like a week later, I think it was almost filming time. And so I reached out again and I was like, hi, I saw that Dorinda like got hurt on social media. I just wanted to, like say, I hope she's doing okay. I don't know how serious the injury is, but if she wants to come and be in the video, even for like, if she wants to just like drive by or like come by, I will get her Ubers. I will like give her some money, like, and yeah, but if not, no worries. Like, I stand forever, I bow and exalt, love, love, love. And her assistant wrote back and was like, thank you so much for the kind words. She actually, she loves the idea for the video, but she needs to rest up because they're starting to film next week. And I was like, I totally understand. So it was just such a nice, like, kind and supportive and just lovely.
It is rare. Yeah.
Thing.
It's rare to have like any like response back. Never mind. Like, you know, they kept you updated. Like it was all very understandable. I mean, I would have been really disappointed, but I mean, you sound like you really handled it really well.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? It's fine. And then when the video comes out, I'll just like email them all. Cause they were like, oh, we'd love to see it when it comes out. So like, okay. So when the video came out, I emailed them all again, and Dorinda wrote back immediately. Dorinda personally wrote back and was like, Chris, OMG, I love this. This is amazing. And she's just being so complimentary and like warm. And she goes, can you come to this event and perform it? and she emails me an invitation for this event she's hosting at Rebag, this store in Soho, where they sell like really high-end upscale bags and purses and stuff. So she was hosting an event there for Valentine's Day, which was the week after. And I nearly died then and there. I was like, yes, I will be there. So I'm like emailing back and forth with her. We're making plans. And so like, then I go about my day. I get a phone call from a New York number. I pick up. I'm like, hello? And they go, Chris, it's Dorinda. Hey, how are you, hon? I was on the sidewalk. I almost fell over there. I was like, oh my, are you kidding me? And she's just like, we're talking about the event. And I was like, well, listen, you know, when I perform this live, it's sort of a hot mess. I don't look as good in the video, but do you want it to look messy, or do you want it to look like good, like in the video? And she's like, oh, like in the video would be great. And I was like, perfect, amazing. So yeah, we made plans and then all of that. And she goes, oh, I got to send it to Andy. He's going to love it. So I'm like, oh my God, that would be amazing. So then the next day, I'm like going about my day. I think it was the next day. And she calls me again. And it was so like, it was so amazing because it honestly felt just like a call where like a friend is calling you to like shoot the. So I pick up, I'm like, because I had her number stored on my phone. I'm like, hello. She's like, hey, hon, it's Dorinda. Guess what I'm doing now? And I was like, what? She's like, I'm going to Philly to teach my aerobics class right now. And I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. She's like, we're going to play your song, Prosecco Through a Straw. Prosecco Through a Straw. And I'm just like dying. And she's like, I sent the video to Andy. He loves it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Just being so complimentary.
Oh my God.
And she goes, I want you to be my bartender on Watch What Happens Live sometime. And I go, Dorinda, you let me know when and where, and I am there for you. It does not matter what I am doing. I am there. I will drop whatever I'm going to come. She's like, oh, great, awesome. But I mean, who knows now with all this Corona going on, and like Andy just had coronavirus, so.
Well, yeah.
I guess he's like doing the show from his apartment.
Yeah, but I mean, the season is long, and I'm sure they're going to feature
true.
her more than once. I'm sure of it. So
true. Yeah, I was just gagged.
That is such a cool experience.
It honestly was amazing. Like, it's one of those things where I'm going to treasure forever. Just the fact that I talked with her on the phone, and like I partied with her at this event, and like, oh God, it was just amazing.
Very cool. Remember, we actually went to a taping of Watch What Happens Live together in New York.
Yes, yeah.
I forgot about that.
That was amazing.
What a cool story. So I'm like mixing it up. I like it.
It's crazy. And then at the event I was at, Margaret Josephs shows up, Carol Radziwill, and Dorinda was there, of course, and her daughter was there, who was so kind. It's just so sweet. Very complimentary about the music video.
Oh, that's so kind. She seems like a really cool, like, good person, that daughter. The little I've seen of her, she just seems chill.
Yeah, just so chill, so nice. I met one of the producers from the show, Dorinda's producer, Chris, who was so kind, so nice. Just everybody was so warm. It was a very warm, supportive, amazing group of people. And I was, like, sort of intimidated going, because I don't consider myself a drag queen. Like, I'm a comedian who does characters, and this drag queen character just happens to be one of the characters. So, like, I showed up in full drag and was like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? But it was a magical night. Everybody was so nice. And Dorinda, like, I am just for life, a fan for life, just the nicest, the coolest. I mean, because when people give you opportunities like that, like, she didn't have to do that. And she took a chance and was like, I'd love for you to come perform at this event. Like, I love the song. You know, I will love her forever for that. So it was amazing. And I got to talk with Carol and Margaret too. And it was great. They all were so lovely. We had such great conversations. It was amazing.
That's fantastic. See, I said this earlier on the show, like, when people in those types of positions give independents like us an opportunity to come in and really, shine or spotlight them or whatever. When they just open a door for people like us, it means so much to us, the exposure and just the experience alone. Like it means more than they could understand, and those are the good people will be the ones that will do that. So yeah, God bless her.
Yeah, she's good people for sure. Oh, I smile when I think about it. And it was just a magical night, magical experience.
Well, if you want to see this music video and you don't know how to find it, you can find it in the episode description underneath this episode of the podcast. And as always, you can search for it on YouTube, Prosecco Through a Straw, and check out Chris on social media as well. Anything else you'd like to promote? Where can people find you?
Yeah, they could find me on my YouTube channel, Seriously Chris. They could find me on Instagram, Seriously Chris. I have Twitter, Seriously Chris, but I am not that good at Twitter. So probably just Instagram and YouTube. And I'm writing a lot more music and music for my characters and for myself coming out probably on Instagram and YouTube. So be on the lookout for that.
Great. I will be. All right. Thanks, Chris. Good chatting with you. All right.
You too. Thanks for having me again.
My pleasure. The next portion of the podcast is a video that I put up on YouTube and Instagram. I was very inspired when I found out that Lindsay Lohan will be publishing new music. Nobody knows anything else about it. I talk all about it in this video. It was really designed to be a vlog, but I wanted to share it here as well, mainly because it was an incredible amount of work. And before anyone gets wrapped up in copyright things, everything is under 10 seconds. I credit every piece that I reference, so everyone, can just relax if they have a problem with it. But I think the majority of you don't care, and you're just going to enjoy. So here's my take on Lindsay Lohan's comeback number 10, question mark? Let me start off by saying I love Lindsay. I love the mother, the father, the sister's Christmas album with the reading from Dina. Who can forget?
For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.
We received a video today. There's new music coming. And I've been told there's been music coming for a long time. Like, where is it? What's going on? Whatever she put out, this weird video, which, what now? What could this be now? A lot of people think that Rumors was Lindsay's first song ever back in 2004, but it was actually Ultimate on the Freaky Friday album, which if you listen to now is extremely dated. In 2005, there was a little more personal, parentheses, raw, whatever that's supposed to mean, and that's that whole daughter to father song. Kind of an interesting turn in pop music. Usually I don't hear girls singing about their dad. Oh, I can't forget, in 2005 at the iced out MTV Times Square New Year's Eve party, we were treated by Lindsay performing Rumors in a fur. Oh, just what it is. I'm tired of rumors starting. I'm sick of being followed. I'm tired of people lying, saying what they want about me. Later in 2008, this Bossy song, which we later got the music video for, probably 9 years later. I'm just a little bossy. I like it how I like it when I like it, and that's how it... And then 11 years after it was released, it was the theme song to the short-lived and sadly departed Lindsay Lohan Beach Club. But she definitely got a lot of mileage out of that song. In June 2019, we had to see a picture of her in a recording booth, another tease. New music, okay, what are we doing? Because she had always said that the music was her sister's thing. She wasn't going to impede on that territory, but okay, well, then stop teasing new music. And then we got this new song Xanax in August of 2019, which I love. It had debuted on Virgin Dubai Radio, just a snippet. Of course, fans have made it into an actual produced song. But we never got the full track. To this day, it still really pisses me off because this was now in August? So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, 8 months ago. And where's the song? So she was on Instagram Live earlier this week at the end of March. And me and a couple other people were like, where is Xanax? What's going on? And she was like, oh, don't worry about Xanax. Like, that's probably not going to happen. Like, it isn't actually. Like, I have new music coming, and like, it's going to be a whole new song. Well, I can't be invested for something after 7 months and not receive it. I think that's terrible. So figure it out, because now we're getting this Instagram is wiped clean, and now we have to look at this video of this TV screen with different highlights. It's basically, the theme is the evolution of Lindsay Lohan, and it's kind of like a little bit of beginning, middle, and end of her doing the dances, and a little bit of her on the rooftop and not radar, that's Britney, rumors. There's just a lot of like little bits and pieces, a big smiley face motif, and then I'm back. And I say it that way because this is a recycled audio bite. And I know this to be true because on my podcast, I featured a segment where she was pitching the show, The Antisocial Network. And it was like a prank show, like never took off. It's now deleted from her Twitter. But in the beginning of the sizzle reel, she says, "I'm back, bitches."
I'm back, bitches.
And so I now listen to what she posted today.
I'm back.
And to me, it's the same sound, but you be the judge. I mean, I just don't know who her team is and who's putting this out there, because if she's promoting music, that I would assume that would be the record label. And they wouldn't use a soundbite from a show that she was trying to sell independently. So this doesn't add up to me. This seems very strange. And I'm just wondering, like, who's behind this? Like, I hope her team is working hard, because we need to really figure out a strategy now more than ever, because press isn't an option right now in the world. So, like, what are you going to do to market this song? And wiping the Instagram is a nice thing, but we've seen that done before. So, like, okay, what are we going to do if we're releasing new music? Is it going to be a track? Is it going to be, 12 songs? I doubt it. I doubt we're going to get 12 songs. We'll probably be lucky if we get 4, but I'm just banking on 1. Again, we already have a half a song with Xanax. So, I mean, I'm hoping that we get a little bit more. And another thing, how many comebacks can one person make? How many times is she going to come back? I'm all for it, but, come on now. I say this with love. Those who know me know I have framed in my house this moment in American history. Forever, I will love it. I will always love Lindsay and the other two, of course. But I need someone to like really work for Lindsay here and figure this out, because we need some new music. Now is the time to do it. The world needs it. And I hope that she has a good team behind her to really get this made and get this out there.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon at patreon.com/Grant's Rants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by RHONY. Voiceover by Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.